Okay. What's going on, LBHT crew? B, what is going on?
What's going on, man?
It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well. Hope your week is doing wonderful, doing great. But if not, hopefully it starts to get better starting right now. We have another preseason show. This is going to be mainly Lamar, Ravens. Got some Panthers. We're going to be talking about both games coming up. Lamar Jackson, will he be starting this week? Robby Anderson getting the bag. But first, B, man, yes, I'm looking at the comments now. Some people are mad that we started late. Yes, look, guys, here's the thing.
We started right on time.
We started right on time. ABC Death, thank you for joining the live stream, man. We started on time. We said it last week that we have to start the shows a little bit later moving forward, at least temporarily. 7:15, just 15 minutes, just 15 minutes. Our man Garnett West is in the house. What's going on, Garnett?
And listen, if you want that 15 minutes back, patreon.com. No, we're gonna we're still going the regular time.
Yeah. Derek Wesley, what's going on? But he brings up the point. He brings up a point. Okay. If you want a set time, you want that set in stone, there's a way you can help us achieve that. And that's patreon.com/LBHT show. Make sure you sign up for as little as $3 a month. Okay, if you really want to help out, $10. Tell your friends. Derek said he's working on the gospel for the Panthers Bible. Yes, Derek is working on a Panthers. Is it a Bible? It's more of a like a history type of thing, right?
Yeah, the Gospels in the Bible. Little chapters for all the major players and events in Panthers history.
Yeah.
The dark history of the Carolina Panthers. It's all right. It's okay though.
Raven Ron is here. He says you can't figure out 4.3 speed and catch it. Talking about Lamar. Because
what's up, Raven Ron?
I guess we can talk about that. Oh, look who's here. Oh, I almost missed it. Oh, you guys are coming in too fast. What's going on, guys? What's going on?
What's
going
up,
on? Our guy Eric L. What's going on, Eric L? Good to see you here, man. Thanks for joining the live stream. We got RTV in here. Man, everybody's here. Go Ravens. That's what I'm talking about. Tony Hendo. Panthers prayer is needed. Yes. And Cornell Russ. He said the set is dope. Looking good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, man.
So a couple of things before we get started. Shout out to Panthers Nation podcast. You're going to start seeing a few more Panthers fans in here because they've been helping the channel grow. They've been sending a lot of support for B over here. They told their guys they need more Panthers fans over here. B needs the support. Okay, so as they start to come in here, we're already giving you the content. We're giving you Panthers content. We're going to continue to give you Panthers content. Ravens fans, I need you to show out too. Go tell your friends. We need some reinforcements over here. Okay. But yeah, guys, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We are at 725 last I checked. Okay, so if any of you guys in here are new, thank you for coming through. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. All right, tell your friends. And also you can follow us on all of our social medias. Above the Patreon is at LBHT Show. That's where you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok. We don't have any TikTok videos yet, but we're working on that. It's all at LBHT Show. Okay. So make sure you sign up or follow us. Yes. Derek is an OG. He's been supporting from the Anchor podcast. Okay.
What's up,
Deshaun? What's going on? All right.
What's up, Emphasis?
What's going on? Appreciate you coming through. Another patron of ours. Okay. Shout out to all the patrons that are in here, man. We appreciate you guys. We don't usually we don't go by name like you usually see and thank everybody, but thank you very much for being a patron. You guys already know how much we appreciate you guys. So yeah, man. Keep supporting LBHT crew. Yes, Davon. What's going on? Davon? All right. So let's get into it. But if you're new and it's the first time seeing the show, we like to start the show with a Black History fact every week. All right. B has a Black History fact for you.
Yeah, just a real quick one. Just a story that you may not have heard too much about. Coming up on August 30th is the anniversary of the death of a slave named Gabriel. He also went by Gabriel, or was known as Gabriel Prosser. Prosser being the name of the plantation owner who owned Gabriel. And the reason his story is significant is, he was born in 1776 or 1775. The records aren't exact, but a lot of big things happening in the U.S. around that time. A lot of talk about freedom and everybody getting being treated fairly. Except for Black people. But Gabriel was, he was a 6'1", 6'2" guy. They said he was a born leader, very intelligent, skilled. He learned to read. He was one of the 5% of slaves who actually learned how to read. He became a blacksmith, so he was very valuable to his owner, right? While he was out, because what would happen is, if the plantation didn't need all the slaves there, they would kind of contract them out in the city or to other plantations or something like that, and to make a little bit of money. So Gabriel would work in Richmond or near Richmond as a blacksmith, and he was allowed to keep a portion of his wages, and the rest went back to the plantation. But while he was working in Richmond, he heard all the talk about revolution, and you heard Thomas Jefferson talking about all men are created equal and all this thing. He was working among freedmen, and so he would hear talk, he would join in the talk, and eventually he decided all the slaves should be free. And right around his 24th birthday, when he was 24 years old, he decided he was going to organize a rebellion. And he was going to try to free all of the slaves in Virginia. And, they kind of put word out to all the different plantations, all the different areas. And they were trying to just amass a rather large force, right? And they were going to march on Virginia. The plan was to kill their plantation owners first, and then march to the capital, take over the armory, and kidnap or hold hostage future President James Monroe until he agreed to free all of the slaves in Virginia. Unfortunately, on the day of the rebellion, they say a biblical type storm hit Virginia. It caused all kinds of flooding. It cut their communication lines. And then on top of that, a couple of slaves who were involved decided to rat Gabriel out. And they told their master what was going on. Once the storm cleared, the militia came to round up all of the conspirators. Gabriel actually escaped for a while, went downriver, was hiding on a ship, and was dimed out by another slave. He was captured and eventually hanged along with about 22 other people who were involved. So that's the kind of short version. There's a lot more to the story. But like I said, it's just the anniversary's coming up. If you want to learn a little bit more about our history and a very interesting story, go ahead and look up Gabriel Prosser.
All right. That is your Black History Fact. And our man Living Legend is here. Uncle Thomas English Muffins. Okay. Okay. So I just added this. This was not on the docket to talk about today, but I see the comments, and you guys love just eating up all that media BS that you see out there from mainstream media about Lamar. Okay. So there it is. The media continues to hate on Lamar Jackson. Like, guys, we did a video. You should check it out. I'll probably put that in the description later. On the media's obsession with Lamar Jackson. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we explained it. There are three main things that I broke it down into, 3 layers. The first layer is the obvious one. It's race. Okay. This is deeply rooted into the NFL. That's the first one. Second one is clicks. The media just wants clicks. Yes. Lamar's a polarizing player. He's very popular, and they know if they use his name, it will get clicks. So that's really the main reason. That's the main reason. They know if they say Lamar, you're going to click on it. Not just us, everybody. Everybody loves, they love Lamar Jackson. They love talking about him. They love watching him. They love him. Yes. That's the main reason. Third reason is the need to be right. The media's need to be right. They got it completely wrong on Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of egg on the face. And instead of just saying, hey, look, we just got it wrong, let's move on, they want to find some victory in this whole thing, because they were completely wrong. And this is why me and B say, don't go 100% in one direction, no matter how you feel about something. When you guys are arguing with us about Prochet or Justin Houston or whatever, don't go all the way in on it, because you could just be completely wrong. If me and B get it wrong about these guys, one for me, I'm a Ravens fan, I'm happy about that. Like, if Prochet comes in and turns into that Antonio Brown type of player, that makes me happy. If Justin Houston can be Justin Houston from 2014, that makes me happy. Okay, if Oweh can be, I don't even want to say Julius Peppers because that's never going to happen. But do it. But that would make me happy. So, but for the media, they just completely wrote off Lamar Jackson, and now their credibility is kind of shot a little bit, right? Some of these guys that you trust as analysts and they're respected as analysts, it's just like, damn, you don't know what you're talking about. So now they're trying to find little ways to show that they were still right about it. So, I mean, look, guys, this is why I hate mainstream media, man. I hate it. Like, I didn't even want to talk about it. It's such nonsense, but I get it, man. Like, you know, you guys watch it. It's everywhere, and you guys want to discuss it, and you can come in here and discuss it, man. It's fine. It's fine.
Yes. And we got some comments here. Eric saying, "Thank you. Let's never forget our story." Absolutely.
Thank you.
You know, want to keep highlighting stories that you know we really don't get taught at all in this country.
Yeah.
And you know, just with what you're saying about Lamar, you know, it was the same thing with Cam Newton, right? And it's still going on to this day. I don't know if you saw, but Cam, he violated some protocols, and so he had to stay away from the facility for 5 days. Something with, you know, being tested somewhere where he wasn't necessarily supposed to be tested, something like that.
Yes.
And so Mac Jones went out there and had a good day of practice against the New York Giants. And immediately it was just Mac Jones just won the job, and like, you know, like celebrating it, you know, like cannot wait for Cam to get what's coming to him, and you know, for running around smiling all these years and doing all this charity work and just playing well and sacrificing his body for the game and everything, you know. And it's just they delight in you know, thinking that maybe he's done.
Yeah, Cam Newton is really, I mean, it didn't start with Cam Newton, obviously, but Cam Newton was where it really caught my attention, like really caught my attention. I mean, well, it first caught my attention when Donovan McNabb just first came out and just said, hey, look, black quarterbacks got to do more than their white counterparts. Yeah. Right. I mean, and everybody was against him on that, man. I remember a lot of quarterbacks at that time. You had Jason Campbell, you had Vince Young. They're all, and Vince Young, I think he was like a rookie at the time. He didn't know any better, but they're all like, oh no, I don't agree with that. This isn't that. Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, now it's spitting the truth.
Well, yeah, to be fair, they weren't really at a point in their careers where they could just come out and agree with that.
Right.
Yeah.
But when Cam came into the league, that's when it was painfully obvious to a lot of people, right? Because I remember they made a big deal about his play calling. Remember that? And they're just like, well, who was it? Was he in Gruden's camp or something like that? The QB camp? So. Yeah. Or Gruden's grind or whatever. He did that interview. And
what's up, Tanja?
What's up, Tanja?
Us too.
And he was asking him about different types of plays that he called. And he said, I never really called anything too complex in college. That's just not what we ran. And I remember they made such a big deal about that. Oh, he doesn't know complex play calls. He doesn't know how to do this and that. Oh, how's he gonna make it in the league? And his first year or first 2 games, he threw like 300 or 400 yards in those games. All right.
Yeah, 400 yards his first couple of games, and but yeah, it was just this immediate rush to say that Cam Newton's not smart enough to be an NFL quarterback. And then you know you go on the other end with old sunshine Jared Goff, who didn't even know how to take a snap. And it was, oh no, he'll be okay. He's got the talent and they'll work with him. And, you know, he's a franchise quarterback. And I do want to stop here. We did get a Cash App. So I want to say thank you. He says, love your work, brothers. And man, we really, really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Also, I didn't mention it. If you see a pinned comment, you should, if you're on YouTube. That is how we do our super chat. Okay. Super chat isn't enabled. And even when we hit the point where we can enable super chat, we're not going to turn it on. If you want to donate, you want to highlight a comment, you hit up that Streamlab, donate on there. We will read your comment on air. Very soon there will be graphics. So when you donate through Streamlabs, There'll be something that comes up on the screen. We haven't quite figured out how we want it set up yet, but there'll be something on the screen, so your comment will be read. Super chat sometimes can get missed, right? As we grow, we're not going to be able to read every comment, even super chats. I know if you watch some of these bigger channels, you watch Engraven, stuff like that. We're not Engraven yet, but, Engraven, Verdusco, all these channels, sometimes you're going to miss a super chat. It's not on purpose. It's just, we're busy doing the show and comments come up.
Yeah.
So
they go by fast.
But the Streamlabs will help with that. The Streamlabs will help with that. So you make the donation, it just pops up. Okay. And we can read it. All right. Yeah, but Cam, it was the same thing. Yeah. Fake smile. Remember that dude, Noraki or whatever his name was, said he had a fake smile. That was his scouting report. I don't know what kind of scouting report that is, but all that. And then he wins the league MVP. Right.
Yeah. And again, at that point, you're wrong. Yeah. I mean, he won Rookie of the Year. He took Carolina to the Super Bowl. He won MVP. You're wrong. But still, years later, you're just preying on his downfall.
Exactly.
And it's terrible to watch.
Yeah. So this is why we really criticize the moves that the Ravens make. We want to make sure they're making the right moves, because it's not just with Cam. It's with looking at history. They've done this with most black quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. They don't get them the proper support. They don't get all three things, right? Support from your coaching staff, protection on the field, and weapons. They don't get all three things that a lot of quarterbacks do. They usually get one, maybe two. Now Lamar, I would say, is starting to get all three.
Yeah.
The protection we'll see this year. Usually they do a good job protecting the quarterbacks. I'm not worried about that long term. The weapons is what I'm really focused on right now.
Right.
So, but what you're hearing from the media, it's not going to stop. Lamar can win MVP again this year. They're not going to stop.
Will win MVP again this year. We should probably mention why we're even talking about this. I don't think we actually said. I believe it was Jeremy Fowler came out and said, he's hearing from.
I wasn't going to say his name, but okay.
Oh, well, my bad. But people hearing from people in the league that they think that this is the year that they figure out Lamar Jackson. And, what does that even mean? Like Raven Ron was saying, you can't figure out how to stop Lamar Jackson from running the ball. And you don't stop anybody from throwing in the NFL. Like, it's easy to pass. So I'm not sure what figuring out Lamar even entails, but it's that time of year.
Listen, the league has seen something like this before with Michael Vick. They've seen something like this before with Cam Newton. Like, it's not like he's doing something that the league has never seen before.
Even further back, Randall Cunningham. Was that type of player. And you don't figure those players out. They go out there, they play their game for as long as they can, and then they start to decline like every other player. And then people are like, "Oh, we figured them out. See, they never last. They don't win."
So, and this goes back to, and I call it the black quarterback treatment. How the organization treats these black quarterbacks. These players never get figured out. They never get figured out. What gets figured out is the scheme, because the scheme doesn't change, and it goes to that's an indictment on the coaching staff, because they think, well, he can only do this, or he's best at doing this. So we gotta simplify this. So we gotta, make it this way. And it's too predictable. And that's going on with Lamar a little bit, because I don't know if you guys saw our man RG3 on TV. I saw that clip and he was talking about it. He kind of let the cat out the bag. I mean, it was obvious, right? But he said, yeah, the play calling was predictable. He's like, every third down, you had Lamar run up the middle. He's like, even when I was in there, they had me run up the middle on the third down play. It was just too predictable.
And that's the other element that you see with black quarterbacks a lot, is that, even if they have the support of the coaching staff isn't very good. And a lot of times you'll see that because, the players that we talk about generally are exceptional players, and they elevate the team, and they save those coaches' jobs. Yeah. Not that John Harbaugh's a terrible coach or anything, but again, Lamar saved his job in his rookie year. Deshaun Watson in Houston saved Bill O'Brien's job. Cam saved Ron Rivera's job a number of times. And so, you just kind of stick with what you're doing, and you have these, a lot of times, uber conservative coaches who just don't really know how to use those quarterbacks, right? And so, it becomes a career-long thing. Like, oh, well, they're just a runner. They can't beat you from the pocket and blah, blah, blah. When, like we said, it's really about a lot of times lack of protection, lack of weapons, and just, ancient thinking in terms of the scheme.
Yeah. But, they're not going to stop saying these ridiculous things. The only thing you can do is just meme these idiots when they say dumb things. Like he said something about, oh, well, what happens if they're down and he has to throw the ball 40, 50 times? Everybody knows if you're throwing the ball 40, 50 times, it's because your team is doing really bad.
Right. No quarterback wins throwing it 50 times. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I understand it's annoying because Lamar was the 5th quarterback drafted that year.
Yes.
Baker Mayfield's the number 1 pick that year. And Baker Mayfield is another polarizing figure, right? He has that fiery personality, if you will. He's doing progressive commercials. You see him on TV a lot. He does a lot of talking.
Mm-hmm.
And there isn't half the coverage on Baker Mayfield that there is on Lamar. And Baker has a lot to prove this year. Now, Baker had a pretty good year, good bounce back year last year. But he needs to get paid this year too. He's the number 1 pick overall, and he might have to. He's on a prove it year. I think. I don't think he's going to get a deal done during the season. I think they'll have to wait until the end of the season to see how he does. There's a lot of pressure on him, and there's just no talk about that.
Yeah,
there's no talk about Josh Allen, who just got a big deal done. There's pressure on him too to live up to that deal.
Well, yeah. If you said that Josh Allen played poorly in his first couple of years, which he did, you were just a hater.
Yeah.
And it's fine to say, that a player is playing poorly when they are, right? Josh Allen was playing poorly. He didn't last year. He played great last year, and it's fine. But, with Lamar, we have to figure out how to explain to you that he's not really good despite what you're seeing on the field every week, despite him winning MVP, despite him going over 1,000 yards rushing, despite him leading the league in touchdown passes, despite him being 30-7 as a starter. He's really not that good. That they feel like the need to try to explain that to you.
Yeah. All right, let's read a couple of these comments here before we want to get into our man, Robby Moneybags Anderson.
Yeah, Kenyon Ricketts, the media criticized Russ too, and he had an off year with an organization that doesn't protect him. Not only doesn't protect him, that is absolutely true, but he was that quarterback who was just throwing nonstop the second half of the year, and it doesn't work. You have to have some semblance of balance.
Yeah. The one thing that doesn't get talked about enough is bad coaches, man. There are a lot of bad coaches. There are a lot of bad front office personnel in the NFL. The NFL, we think because we see that we see that shield and it says NFL, you assume that it's the best of the best. On the field, yes. In the front office and coaching staff, not even close.
Right.
Not even close because it's they get those jobs 100% based off of nepotism.
Well, listen, even sometimes on the field, it's not the best of the best. We did see that I believe Andy Dalton is going to be starting in Chicago. So, there's that. They haven't announced Trey Lance as a starter in San Francisco. So there's that.
Well, that was something else that we were supposed to talk about. We can get into that later on as well if you want to. We'll read a couple more of these comments and then we're going to get into Robby Anderson, and then we'll circle back around about some of these quarterbacks that should not be starting.
Like once I remember in 2019 when Mike Florio thought that Drew Lock had better mechanics and vision than Kyler Murray. Yeah, Drew Lock is getting the a vision of Teddy Bridgewater right now. He was just announced as the Week 1 starter. Old Teddy. I'm happy for Teddy, man. Teddy he's gotten a raw deal.
He has.
The NFL.
He has.
And that's not even, not to say that, organizations did him dirty or anything like that. I mean, that injury in Minnesota really, really derailed him. He was able to come back and rehab with New Orleans and kind of rebuild that image. And then Carolina. And
I'll say this. Panthers fans are in here. Don't be surprised when you see Teddy outplay Darnold this year. Don't be surprised if that happens. Teddy's a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. I'm working with that assumption until Sam Darnold proves otherwise. And he goes out there and has a good year, or at least a solid year for Denver, and Darnold does less. Okay, You guys hated Teddy Bridgewater last year, but it's not Teddy. Teddy's not the problem.
Right. Yeah, because even with a not great year, he's just. I mean, you look at Sam Darnold and you're like, oh, he's big, he's athletic, he has this huge arm. He should be better.
Yeah,
but he's not.
All right.
Okay. Deet.
We'll go on that, and then we'll go to Deet.
Yeah.
I hope they keep putting pressure on the quarterback, because at the end of the day, the pressure is going to end up on the coaching staff and above. You mean putting pressure like the media putting pressure on the quarterback? Because usually coaches are always protected because they're the ones that control media access. That's why they don't usually get the criticism unless they're clearly on their way out. Like Adam Gase was terrible everywhere he went.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the very end that they really started. They didn't criticize Adam Gase when one of his coaches was snorting coke in the facility. They didn't criticize him then.
Right. So Just Allo, what's going on? Just Allo, he says quarterbacks who have thrown the ball 50 or more times since 1950 have a 215 winning percentage. Yes.
Yeah.
Because throwing the ball 50 times means you're getting beat bad.
Yeah.
Adit said, I'm convinced that the media doesn't believe anything they say about Lamar. His name brings up clicks. That's why they regurgitate the same BS about Lamar, but word it differently to sound slick. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure there's a few who actually believe it. But yeah, the majority is just trying to get attention.
Look, it's really hard for me to watch mainstream media now, because a lot of it is just performance, right? You're not getting real opinions. You're not getting real analysis. They have these pre-production meetings where they script exactly what they're going to say. And it sounds like WWE to me now. It sounds like somebody has to play the heel, somebody has to play the good guy, and they're yelling. And it's like, man, it's 7:00 in the morning. I don't need you yelling in my ear. Just tell me what you think without yelling and getting all animated. But they had to put on this show because they know that's what gets clicks. That's what's going to get people paying attention to them. But there's a lot more competition out there. So they had to say these wild and outlandish things to get you to pay attention to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. J, what's going on, Mr. J? He says the Broncos can kind of mirror our defense and offense, our being the Panthers. So we will see. Yeah, they've got a great roster built up around them. I think they're better on the O-line, obviously, than Carolina. And I think they've got better receivers, at least potentially. Their guys are young in Judy and Cortland Sutton, but I would rather have those guys than Moore and Robby Anderson.
I think it's a little closer than we think, man. Like Moore could really blow up this year. Robby Anderson is a good wide receiver. I mean, they're both really good.
I just look at Sutton and Judy as guys who can both be legit stars, and I don't really feel that way about Robby Anderson. I mean, he is a good receiver, even a very good receiver, but I don't think he's on that level.
So I think the difference will be Vic Fangio. I don't think Vic Fangio is any great head coach by any stretch, but he has NFL experience, something that Rule didn't have until last year, and he coached like a college coach. And it showed. And that's why Teddy Bridgewater brought up the red zone offense, the 2-minute offense. It was non-existent. And it's one of those things that at least Vic Fangio understands that part of the game.
Yeah. What's up, Spirit of Justice?
What's up, man?
Emmanuel Acho is the worst. That is correct.
It feels like he does like a word randomizer, and whatever it spits out, he just tweets it out. Because some of the stuff he says doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, or gives the monologue, right? Like it just sometimes it makes absolutely no sense. But he's so serious when he delivers it, like he's giving you something deep and profound.
You know why? Because he's like, man, it sounded better in the locker room.
And he's like, the thing is, hey, you just don't get it right now. That's why it sounds like it doesn't make any sense. 5 hours from now, whatever you're doing, it's gonna hit you. But it's all nonsense.
What's up, Tough Puppy? Thanks for coming through. He says Robby is better than Hollywood as of right now. I agree.
That's right.
I agree.
That's right. Y'all wish you had Carolina's receivers.
And real quick, we got about 43 people in here. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Guys, this time, we started about a year ago. I think we're coming up on a year. our goal was 100 subscribers by the end of 2020. We hit that. And they're like, oh, okay, well, maybe we can go to like 200, something like that. And then our goal for 2021 was 500 subscribers. Yeah. All right. But you guys have really supported the show. We appreciate you. 1,000. I'm not sure when we're going to hit 1,000, but as soon as possible, we would love to hit it around the beginning of the football season. So make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends. Yes, 1K, baby, 1K. That's what I'm talking about. Also follow us on our social medias. I don't plug that enough. At LBHT Show, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We are going to be posting more on Instagram. My Instagram game is really bad, but I'm going to get that up. Okay, you might start seeing some things on TikTok as well here pretty soon. So go ahead and start following. And we're gonna give you guys some more stuff coming up here.
ABC definitely, and I think Robby is a number 2, to be honest. And I agree. And that's not even that's not a slight to Robby. He's a very good player. I just don't see him on that same tier as those other guys.
Well, speaking of Robby, that's a perfect segue, man. ABC Def, thank you. That is a perfect segue into our next topic, and that is the Panthers extending Robby Anderson 2-year extension. Was it 20 million, 20.5 million guaranteed?
Yes, I believe so. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but. It's a good deal, right? Like I said, he's a very good player. Matt Rule knows him. He coached him in college. Sam Darnold knows him. He played with him with the Jets. He had a great season last year.
What's up, Sterling?
What's going on, Sterling? And you combine Robby, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey's already there, a great receiving back. You bring in Terrace Marshall. They signed Dan Arnold. And drafted Tommy Tremble, who has looked pretty good in preseason and training camp. And you got all of the elements for an absolutely deadly offense, except the quarterback and offensive line.
Yeah. Because on our weekend show, we discussed it. Like, what was the point of really extending Robby Anderson since you drafted Terrace Marshall? But if you look at it, it's not the wide receivers are locked up. You got Robby Anderson until 2024, correct? I think it's 2024 is when his contract will be up.
I believe so.
Through 2024. You have DJ Moore, who they said they're looking to lock him up soon too. But you got another year on a rookie deal with him. They picked up his 5th-year option, and Terrace Marshall just started in the league. So they don't have to really worry about any contracts here once they lock up DJ Moore. But that's just for wide receivers.
They've got one. They got to worry about Hassan Reddick if he comes in and plays well.
That's what I'm saying. That's just for wide receivers. That's just for wide receivers because let's be real. Darnold isn't that's not their guy. They're kicking the tires on him. That if he turns out that he can play well, okay, great. They'll give him a contract, but that contract isn't going to be backbreaking by any means. But the player, the quarterback that they're really trying to get, they're going to have to kick out money for that guy. Whether it's a trade for Aaron Rodgers, whether it's a trade for Deshaun Watson, whoever they end up with, they're going to have to pay money for that guy. That's where they're going to have to pay. Hassan Reddick could very easily have himself a great year and demand more money. Brian Burns is going to need more money. Okay, Taylor Moton, once he switches to left tackle, is going to demand more money.
I think Hassan Reddick, honestly, is just kind of a stopgap because they don't really think Gross Matos is ready to be that guy yet. And if he doesn't show this year, I think they'll let Reddick walk and draft an edge rusher. But we'll see.
Yeah. Here we go, Tough Puppy. Tough Puppy said Donald is better than Brady all time. What you talking about, Jose? Tell Puppy, you haven't been doing these crates challenges, have you? Have you been doing these crates challenges? If you have, send a video. We'll post it.
He's still conscious and typing, so I'm assuming not.
Yeah.
Those things have not been going well for people. Like I said, people out there doing that stuff when hospital beds are full.
You know, they haven't been getting rushed to the hospital. It's been laying there. Well, we don't know what Sutton looks like after coming back from a torn ACL. That's true, Mr. J6. I'm taking DJ over Judy. I don't see KJ Hamler being better than
Terrace
Marshall and Shy.
Don't do that to Shy. Don't do that to Shy. Don't do it.
Look,
not a light version of Agent 89. He's a mid-round rookie who hasn't made the team yet.
right. I like Shi Smith too, but no, we can't. I don't like doing that. I don't
I
like doing
expect him to, obviously, but he hasn't done it yet. And to your point, yeah, we don't know what Sutton will look like.
That's true.
I'm expecting him to make a full recovery. ACL injuries don't kind of doom a player the way they used to. And I'm looking at it as DJ Moore versus Cortland Sutton being kind of a wash. I mean, you can prefer DJ, but the real where they separate from me is Jerry Jeudy over Robby Anderson. That's why I would take those two over the Panthers' current two.
Yeah. Tough Puppy says he's going to try to create challenge here soon. Send us a video, you do it, and look, prayers up. Okay, I'm going to say that right now.
I'm not going to encourage you to do it, but if you do, send the video.
Yeah. Let's see. Nick Wright is the worst. I actually like Nick Wright.
He's real annoying. Like I can see why he can get under people's skin if you don't agree with him. But I think he's better at that than guys like Acho and Skip Bayless. Because he's not as outlandish.
Yeah, because you know what it is. They all have to do the shouting thing. They have to talk really loud, right? And he has like a pipsqueak voice, so it's really annoying, right? But if you ever listen to him in interviews where he's just sitting down talking to somebody, he sounds very rational, like a normal person, and he knows his stuff. So yeah, I like him one other, but I don't watch him either. I don't watch any of these guys really anymore. I like Skip and Shannon. Well, I like Shannon. I don't really like Skip that much, but I used to watch the show, but now it's just having to do this show and do research and just constantly monitoring stuff, listening to that gibberish, man. I can't. It's hard for me to do. Yeah. It's hard for me to do.
Yeah, it's assaultive to your ears at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the other quick note about Carolina, Joey Sly is not gonna make it. I don't think. They signed another kicker, Dominic Eberle, I believe his name was. He came in, and they both went. They both kicked 3 field goals. Eberle went 2 for 3. Sly went 0 for 3. So they had to call him back out to the field one more time so he could make a short one, I guess, so he could feel good about himself. But I expect him to get cut here shortly. So yeah, that's really kind of where Carolina is. But we do want to talk about the Ravens' next preseason game and whether or not Lamar Jackson is going to be making an appearance finally.
Yeah. Okay. So there it is. We're back on Lamar Jackson. Okay. Look, Lamar Jackson gets clicks. Okay. Listen, it's the same for us.
Stop it, Deshaun. Stop it.
I keep telling y'all to trade for Verity. Yeah. Listen, even for us, Lamar Jackson, if we cut this up, that little segment and put it out, that's going to get us some clicks. Lamar Jackson is very popular. It's easy to talk about him and get views, get clicks, right? But we like to talk about a variety of things here, so we don't make it Lamar Jackson 24/7. But we talking about Lamar Jackson right now. Okay.
So the Ravens cut their third string quarterback. I believe it's Kenji Bahar. That's how you pronounce it. I'm not 100% sure on that. But so right now they've got Lamar and Tyler Huntley. So that's leading people to believe that maybe he's going to play in their last preseason game, because obviously they wouldn't let Tyler go out there and have to play all 4 quarters, right?
Right. But he played most of the game last week.
Yeah.
He played, I believe he played into the 4th quarter. I don't think he finished the 4th quarter, but I think he started the 4th quarter. And I was sitting here thinking, man, they got him playing the whole game here, which is, hey, good for him. He's getting the reps.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what? They could. Lamar has to play. Yeah. I think Lamar will play. But if you ask me, should he play? It depends on if the whole starting O-line is going to be out there. If they're not, no way. Because this Washington football team, that D-line is dangerous. Yeah. Okay. They're dangerous and they're aggressive. And Chase Young has been dreaming about hitting Lamar Jackson. So if Ronnie Stanley ain't going to be out there, Lamar can sit on the sideline with him. Okay.
Yeah. As a fan, obviously I want to see Lamar out there. Love watching Lamar play. I've gone on record multiple times saying I think he's going to win MVP this year again. I I think he'll be out there. I think he'll be out there even if the whole starting line isn't out there. I think they'll get him at least one series. And then you kind of get into that conversation of like, is that really worth it? Right. Cam Newton a couple years ago went in for one series against the Patriots and injured himself, hurt his foot. Just the other day, Travis Etienne, he sprained his foot. He got the Liz Frank injury. He's out for the year.
Yeah.
And it can happen just in a blink of an eye that, you lose this guy. Oh man, it's so important for him to get reps. We got to get him out there. We got to let him play. And then it's like, well, he got hurt in a preseason game. That was worthless.
Yeah, this is my thing, Raven Ron. Lamar versus Washington football team full of young first-round front seven. No. And those guys are dangerous. Guys, that Washington defense, they're just as good as ours, if not better. I'll just be real, man. Like that defense coached by Ron Rivera, yeah, they're going to get after it.
Yeah.
Even in a preseason game. Like they're aggressive, which I like that style of football. But look, if the O-line is healthy and they can hold up for, a series or two, whatever. But would I prefer he sit out the game in general? Yeah, because like B said, what are you really getting out of preseason? Okay, you get some reps. But if he gets hurt, you're going to be looking back and saying it wasn't worth it. So.
Right. And that's where the problem is like, look at y'all crawling back. That's true. That's true. Going to asking, would we rather have a rusty start at the beginning of the season or risk injury in a preseason game? For me, it's the rusty start every time. Because, I mean, we've seen on a couple of occasions now that NFL teams went out there without a training camp or without preseason, and they were fine.
Yeah,
they don't really need it.
Well, and what do you mean by rusty start? Like that's another thing. Like, how are they gonna be rusty? They've been practicing this whole time, and they don't.
Well, Lamar hasn't. Lamar has not.
No, he's been practicing. Well, not the whole time. No, but I mean, yeah, I mean, he missed
the same thing. With the O line and the receivers, like they haven't been practicing. So you'd like to get the whole group out there.
Well, the receivers aren't going to be out there. There's like 5 receivers that didn't show up to camp today. They're not going to be playing on Saturday. So you're going to be running with the same wide receiver group that's been out there. Everybody that's going to be playing has been practicing. And yes, Lamar missed like the first week or two of practice, but he's been practicing since. Preseason, they're running a vanilla offense. They're not really running what they're going to be running in real games. So it's not like they're getting that work with the real plays that they're running anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't see the value.
That's right, Davon.
That's right. Yeah.
G-Star, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? G-Star 007.
Also, I keep seeing reports on Ben Cleveland leaving practice early. I'm rooting for Cleveland, but he's always dinged up. I think that's something you see a lot with rookies when they first come in and they're just not used to it. And it's the summer, it's real hot, people cramp up. And it's a lot of little things. I wouldn't be worried long-term about Ben Cleveland. Well, at least not because of that. The thing that worries me is that he has not been named the starter at left guard yet with the quality of his opposition along the line.
Yeah, that's a little troubling because the other guys have been out there playing. They haven't been looking great. So that makes me nervous.
Yeah.
And there hasn't really been anybody pushing Bozeman at center either. That makes me a little nervous as well.
Right.
Because Bozeman, I think at left guard would have been fine. I'd have been okay. They said Bozeman's going to play left guard this year. He held up fine last year, and we're going to get somebody to play that center spot. That would have made me feel a lot better. But Bozeman has to work now. If he doesn't work, what are we going to do? Macari was on Jess Rabick's list for up in the air in terms of is he going to make the team or not. That doesn't make me feel good. So our backup center, possible starter in case of injury, couldn't make the team or get cut.
Yeah, it's because they're so deep. That's why.
Yeah,
you never know. But yeah, so with the Ravens preseason game coming up, I would like selfishly to see Lamar out there, but realistically, the answer is you don't play him.
Correct.
So you don't do it.
Yeah. So, all right. Deshaun says, did you read this one? And they needed to name a starting left guard. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. we'll see. I feel like he's going to play at least a series or two with. I think Stanley's going to play as well. I don't know what Ben Cleveland's status is going to be, but I think you're going to have the starting lineup at O-line that at least they have a picture in their mind to see how it's all working out, see how they hold up. And this is a good test. This is a dangerous test, but this is a good test. This is you're not going to find much better D-line in the league than Washington football team. So if they look solid,
unless you look at Carolina.
Maybe.
So without looking at the chat, who do you think this comment's about? Too valuable, but at the same time, he ain't really that good, but he's valuable.
Too valuable at the same time. I don't know.
It's on the O-line.
Too valuable. Oh, we talking about Macari?
There you go, Patrick Macari. Listen, I get what you're saying. He plays a bunch of positions. He's got experience and everything. Nobody who can't play is valuable.
Yeah.
Like, that's just kind of what it is. If you can't play, you're not valuable.
But this is the same conversation if you go over to Panthers Nation podcast, they talk about the same thing that we talk about over here for both Panthers and Ravens. The O-line is a problem, and this is why we criticize the moves that are made in the offseason, because you have the quarterback that you want. You need to protect him. You need to make sure your O-line is set, and it can't be any question marks going into the season. You're going into the last game of the preseason. Season starts soon in a couple of weeks, and we don't know who our starting line is going to be because nobody is stepping up. The O-line as a whole doesn't look great. In Carolina, it looks even worse. Right?
You didn't have to say that. That wasn't necessary. You were talking about the Ravens. Jeremiah, Lamar being rusty is still better than half the starting QBs in the league. That is true.
Yes.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah. And he's not going to be rusty. Lamar has been working out the whole offseason. He's been working with Hollywood the whole offseason. He got to work out with Rashad Bateman a little bit in the offseason. He's ready to go.
Oh, no, he's not going to be rusty. He's going to be figured out. So it
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if he plays in the preseason or if he waits for the regular season. The league got his number this time. This year.
When I first saw those headlines, those tweets of this idiot saying that he's figured out, I thought people were retweeting what he said from last year. Right? Because he had a down year last year, with his 26 touchdowns. But they figured out, so do you think he's gonna have a worse year than last year or a better year? Because if he has a better year than last year, that's first team all pro.
Right. So, but yeah, and we were talking about Garnett was talking about valuable but not good. And that kind of leads into another topic that we wanted to discuss a little bit. And we mentioned it earlier in the show. When do you think it's appropriate for journeyman quarterbacks to keep your first round pick on the bench?
Yeah.
Justin Fields in Chicago right now looks like he's not going to be starting week 1. Trey Lance in San Francisco may not start week 1. I don't think they've officially said either way yet. My position is, unless you've got a situation like Green Bay with Brett Favre, or even Kansas City with Alex Smith, who was not a great quarterback, but an above average quarterback, a guy who got you to the playoffs. Unless you have somebody like that, there's really absolutely no reason to keep your first round pick on the bench.
Yeah. Real quick before we dive further into that topic, we didn't do it at the halfway point. I just want to point out, we got 41 people in here, man. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new here, subscribe. Okay. And if you want to support the show, the ones that have been supporting already, thank you very much to our patrons. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you for people that have been donating. Everything goes right back into the show. As you can see, man, we're always trying out new things here. All right. But if you want to support like the awesome patrons that we have right above me, patreon.com/LBHT Show. We have 2 tiers. We got the $3 tier and the $10 tier. B, tell them about the tiers real quick.
The $3 tier is going to get you in access to our overtime show that we do every Wednesday after the live show. It's a lot of fun. We have patrons in there and we just talk about whatever for however long. It's a great time. And it's also going to get you entrance into the Survivor League, which, if you don't know what that is, it's it's kind of a pick 'em league. You make one pick a week. If your team wins, you advance. If they lose, you're out. You can only pick a team one time for the season, and so whoever is left standing, the last one standing, wins that league. At $10, you're going to be able to come on screen in the overtime show, and hang out with us and talk. You are also going to get access to our fantasy football league that is full for this year. But if there's enough interest next year, we'll have multiple leagues. It also allows you to request content. If you want an article or a video about a specific subject, you can let us know, and we'll get that taken care of. And also, again, for a limited time, the $10 tier gets the Founders Coin. Oh,
look what I got!
Jose finally showed up, prepared for the show with his coin.
I did. Check out that beauty right there. And these are limited. We don't have much left. Okay, because you guys have really been supporting. Thank you very much. And like I said, once that's gone, it's gone. It's gone. What's going on, Ferris? Also, hey, check out. I saw Ferris was doing that highlight show, him and Caleb, earlier. Man, make sure you check them out. If you're not subscribed to Let's Get Ready Network, our man Ferris here, he knows everything about sports. Okay, so he's a good follow, man. Subscribe to them. Check them out. They do a highlight show usually on Tuesdays at 7, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ferris. But yeah,
listen, Sterling, tell this man not to do that to the show. Okay, this is about being professional.
Yeah, and also before we start, again, I want to mention right above B, Cash App, $ LBHT Show. Right, if you look at the pinned comment, if you're on YouTube, that's for our Streamlabs. That's how we do our super chat. We don't have super chat enabled, but if you go there, make a donation and leave a comment, we will read it on air. All right.
Mr. J says it only took you a month.
Man, whatever. Well, first, we didn't tell you that he stole my coin. Okay?
That is absolutely false. Why would I need to steal a coin when I have my own right here?
Because where's your box?
I don't need a box.
You don't have one of these boxes here. That's Whatever. Why. That's
okay.
why.
Irrelevant.
So and if you like the merch, I gotta plug this. If you like the merch, you like what B's wearing, you like what I'm wearing, I got a whole bunch of stuff over there. I will put up the store right there. LBHTshow.com/shop. That's where you go and make a purchase. Some of you guys have purchased some stuff. I'm getting some good reviews. Okay, some of you guys are liking the merch. That's what I want to hear, because we put a lot of effort into getting you some better quality than what you will find on like Teespring and things like that. Yeah. So
Jeremiah said, as soon as I'm not on a budget, I'm a patron. I got a 6-month-old that took my heart and my money already. Yeah, man, thank you. Appreciate that. And once again, congratulations, man.
And look, guys, don't feel any pressure whatsoever to have to support financially. If you really want support right now, make sure you're following us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you have. Make sure you go and follow us there. Mm-hmm. Hit up our website, lbhtshow.com. lbhtshow.com. Okay, same place where we have the shop. Just go lbhtshow.com and sign up for our email list. Okay. We're trying to grow our email list. We don't send out spam or anything like that, but we want to grow that list. So when we have big announcements, if we need to move somewhere or, show ain't happening tonight, something like that, we can just shoot out a quick email, let you guys know, here's where you can find our content. Okay. And we put all of our content on the website as well. Well, at least the audio podcast we put on there, and B writes articles too. So check it out. All right. Yes. Okay. So when should rookie QB start? Now, no, go ahead.
My opinion on this is, like I said, unless you have an entrenched starter, Brett Favre, like I said, even Alex Smith, who got them to the playoffs. If you draft a guy in the first round, he should be starting week 1.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. I understand some rookies just may not be ready yet. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that's for a coaching staff to determine. Say, hey, not quite ready yet. This person, we're going to let this person take over this year. Kind of like what they did with Mahomes. Although I think Mahomes could have played that first year. But I think that they just kind of had that plan just to bench him from the time they got there, because they're winning with Alex Smith. But, for the most part, I would say about 95% of the time, you should just let that guy go out there and play, because the guy that's sitting in front of him usually doesn't make it through the whole year as a starter. So why'd you waste time with him? Like, Andy Dalton's not going to make it through the whole year.
And listen, you sucked enough to get him. Go play him.
Yeah, what's Andy Dalton going to do for you? Like in Nagy's case too, because Nagy's on the hot seat. He can't have another bad year.
It's weird, right? Because he is on the hot seat, but they've made the playoffs, and I'm like, why would you finally have a guy who has talent, right? And we'll see if it pans out. But why would you voluntarily go to Andy Dalton when you could have something so much better and get yourself off of the hot seat? You were saddled with Trubisky, and now you don't want anything better for yourself? Why?
Yeah. And like Deshaun says, baptism by fire. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
That's right. Thank you, Garnett.
Thank you, Garnett.
Like, subscribe, share the video, and thank you.
Man, appreciate thank you, Garnett. Yeah, appreciate you. And make sure you follow Garnett on Twitter. Is it at Garnett West? I believe that's what it is. He does what's that group thing that they do on Twitter? What's that called? Spaces?
Right, unless you have a top 5 elite quarterback. Yeah. Twitter Spaces.
Twitter Spaces. Garnett does Twitter Spaces, man. They're pretty dope. I checked out his the other day. Yes, if you have a top 5 elite quarterback, you should not be drafting a quarterback.
Well, again, that's the Brett Favre situation. I mean,
Aaron Rodgers.
Obviously, they should not have drafted Jordan Love, but it happens. It happens, right? So,
if I don't care if he's 40. Don't draft him, right? Don't draft him. You have a top 5 quarterback. You should be, if you have a top 5 quarterback, everything that you should be doing should be geared towards winning a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Right now. Stop thinking about the future. You play the game now. So if you have a top 5 quarterback, put everything that you need around him to be successful and try to win a Super Bowl. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your pick on a quarterback that's going to sit.
Tough Puppy, I'm feeling generous. So yes, follow Tough too. Follow Tough Puppy too.
Put your Twitter handle in there.
They making the point right here. Unless you got Joe Flacco.
Unless you got Joe Flacco.
How many games did y'all waste? I told Jose before the season, Lamar should be starting day 1.
He did. He said, yeah.
And they went out there and they messed around for 9 weeks.
I mean, I didn't disagree with you. I said, yeah, go ahead and start him. And I understand it. I understand. I don't agree, but I understand when you have your guy, especially you win a Super Bowl with your guy. I understand wanting to give him every chance to show out that year, right? Mm-hmm. But it damn near cost the whole coaching staff their jobs.
Yeah.
Like Harbaugh was going to get fired.
Yeah, he was on his way out.
The owner had already said beginning of the season, in that offseason, that he had thought about firing Harbaugh, but decided against it. That doesn't mean it's all good now. You're safe. That means you better win. Yeah. He was on his, and there are rumors that a couple more losses and he was toast. He wasn't even going to finish the season.
Yeah. And just real quick, Garnett says he's at Garnett478, and they got the Ravens town hall call every Monday night. So go ahead and follow Garnett. I know all y'all are following Garnett already. Garnett's big time.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Plug Tough Puppy too. This is what we do, man. We plug our people on here, man. We plug our people. There you go.
I love you too, Tough.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, like, don't waste time with that. If the Bears have a bad year with Justin Fields, then that could save his job. You got a rookie quarterback, so you can say, hey, he just wasn't ready yet. It's fine. That's going to be your guy. But if you get off to a slow start with Andy Dalton and Justin Fields comes in and is looking good, but you missed the playoffs because you're messing around, that could cost you your job.
Yeah.
Or you just roll with Andy Dalton and you just look and you're terrible. It's just like, well, what are you doing with Justin Fields on the bench? You wasted time with him. So don't mess around and cost your job, because for what? You're not tied to Andy Dalton in any way. That's just that old mindset of rookies need to sit. They need to sit and watch the game.
I think it's a little bit of that, and he's scared.
Yeah,
he's scared of playing a young QB, because that Trubisky thing, it goes both ways, right? Like, Trubisky was a number 3 pick or number 2 pick, and he was supposed to be the guy, and he came in and he can't throw left. And it's just, and even Trubisky was looking pretty nice in their preseason game the other day.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Getting a little revenge.
Same thing going on in San Francisco with Jimmy G and Trey Lance, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Trey Lance is looking great in preseason.
Yeah.
Let him play. You drafted him in the first round because you didn't like how Jimmy Garoppolo looked.
Yeah.
So play Trey
traded
Lance.
up to get him in the first.
You traded up. So don't put him on the bench.
Yeah, and he's showing you flashes of special play. And you know that you're never going to get that from Jimmy Garoppolo. Ever.
Yeah. He got his money. He doesn't care. All right. What are you reading?
I'm looking at Garnett here saying Nagy just doesn't want to look stupid because he promised Dalton before he got Fields. Don't care.
Who cares?
And Andrew Dalton is a grown man. He will
what
get
you do?
over it.
You look at Andy Dalton right in his eyes and say, I lied. Have a seat.
You don't even say I lied. He's like, listen, I was wrong.
I changed. Yeah, I didn't lie. I changed my mind. I'm allowed to change my mind.
I'm sorry, but me being sorry ain't getting you on the field. I'm not that sorry. Never.
I'd rather be sorry and still employed.
Right.
All right. Let's go into bonus time. We are at the hour mark. We do bonus time for a few minutes. You guys can put whatever you want in the comment, ask any questions. We'll talk about it, bring up any topic that you want. And after bonus time, we were going to do our overtime show. If you're new here, you don't know what overtime show is, man, it's a lot of fun. We talk about anything and everything. Mm-hmm. All right. And you can be a part of that by going to patreon.com/LBHT show. All right. You don't want to miss out on that. All right. Let's take a look at these comments. Davon says Jimmy G will be hurt again.
Yeah. Ferris, being classic Ferris optimism here. They all getting fired. I don't even know who he's talking about. I'm not sure if that was directed at anybody specific or he just means everybody.
Like Nagy, yeah, I think I think Nagy's on a hot seat. I think he really has to come out the gate winning. I think he's in a little bit of trouble. Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan.
Deshaun, true, right? Andy? That's the little boy from Toy Story. And even he, they painted over that like he didn't want to be Andy no more. Okay?
Listen. I got a friend named Andy. I call him Andy. Okay,
Andy's cool, man.
Yeah, shout out to Andy, man.
They want Jake Paul fight.
Okay, man. Jake Paul fight.
Teron Woodley, he's dragging me back in,
guys.
Right? He's talking the good stuff.
Listen. If don't spend your money. Okay, talk. Just go to patreon.com/LBHT show. Go to Discord. We'll talk. Listen. If you're planning on watching this fight, expecting a real fight, I can save you a lot of time and heartache. It's not going to be a real fight. Tyron Woodley is going to lose. He's paid to take a dive. Okay?
But on the other hand, Tyron Woodley is quoted as saying, on Sunday, you're going to see Jake Paul get hurt in a way you'd never imagine.
Now, I also want you to just understand that Tyron Woodley says this before every fight, and he's lost his last 4 fights.
Again, not relevant. He is not fighting a fighter. So now I don't know what he means by in a way you never imagine. I can imagine some pretty bad stuff happening in a boxing ring. Like, does he just mean he's gonna cheat? Like, I don't know. I don't understand.
So he's gonna hit him with a steel chair.
Yeah, I'd be there for that. But yeah, I don't expect Tyron Woodley to win this fight, unfortunately. I think it's another one of those kind of take a dive situations.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be, because same thing with Ben Askren. Nobody wants to come out and say he took a dive, but that's exactly what it was. He told Ben Askren, "Listen, it's cool. You're gonna make more money than you've ever made fighting in MMA, right? That money is secure. You don't even have to get in shape. Just go in there for a couple minutes. I hit you, you go down, and then we go out and party afterwards, right? It's a win-win for everybody." And Ben Askren didn't look the least bit disappointed. He didn't even break a sweat. He was like, "Man, that was the easiest money I ever made." Tyron Woodley is going to do the same thing. He tells Tyron Woodley, "Look, man, I can get you more money than you've ever made as a UFC champion. Tyron Woodley was one of the all-time greats.
Not just the champion, a great fighter.
Yes. He was a king of the welterweights, man. Like he ran things. He's about to get paid more doing this joke of a fight than he's ever made in the UFC. Okay. And that speaks to what kind of person Dana White is.
Fair as that. I hope we see something like that. I hope.
My God, he broke him in half.
Woodley standing over him, holding the chair, and Jim just like, not like this.
No. I would love to see Jim Ross call like a boxing match or even an MMA fight. We need something like that. We need that in sports or in football. I would love to see him do football. That would be great.
Sean says, if Woodley can put Paul in this place, you're going to have to use that military training and do it. I can't keep watching him win. Okay. Jose's got a little boxing experience himself.
It's a smidget. I'm too out of shape, man. But for the right price, you can get me back in there, and I would get in shape, and I would fight him for real. Okay. Yeah. But I'm not
until he showed you the contract with the number of zeros next to your name, and then you'd be like, "What round do you want me down in?"
No, but see, because I'm not an athlete. I'm not big enough yet. Right? We're not big enough. He's not going to put that stipulation in his contract. He's just going to say, "Oh, I can take this guy, this YouTuber. I can take him. It's all good. We can have a real fight, and then I'll get trained up, and then we'll see what's up." Okay. Okay, Jose versus Logan 2024. Look, get these subs up, guys. Get these subs up, and maybe we'll get on their radar, and maybe we can make it happen.
It'll be a tag team match. Get Logan in there too.
yeah, there you go.
You and me against the Paul brothers.
Yeah.
Jim Ross, Tony Romo for the Super Bowl. I'm listening to Jim Ross call anything.
Anything. Yeah. It should be Jim Ross calling the games. It should be Bruce Buffer announcing the teams when they come out. We don't need the overhead PA. Just have Bruce Buffer on the field, just introducing each team and have him run on the field. Oh man. Or just announce the star players. Can you imagine Bruce Buffer? If you guys don't know, if you don't watch MMA, you haven't heard of Bruce Buffer. That's what's the other Buffers? Michael Buffer. That's Michael Buffer's brother. Bruce Buffer is the greatest announcer of all time. Okay, yes. He's greater than Michael Buffer, and he's a treat to watch. Go, just watch Bruce Buffer, and tell me you don't want him to announce Lamar Jackson for every game.
Don't make me regret putting your Twitter up here, Tough. Don't do it.
Joe Buck. Yeah, okay. Joe Buck is legendary. I mean, he's been around for a while, but like Joe Buck doesn't excite you. I'm not saying he's bad at his job or anything like that, but you rather listen to Joe Buck than Jim Ross? I don't think so. It's time.
He be getting people who are already there to fight hyped.
Every fighter wants to touch gloves with Bruce Buffer. They want to touch this man. Like this man is like a good luck charm. They want to get that fist. They stick their hand out. Like, give me that fist bump. I need it.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. So since we're talking a little bit of boxing, I mean we talked about it on the last show as well, but Anthony Joshua and Usyk is coming up in the middle of September, I believe. Man, I'm telling you, I know it's a kind of against all odds thing, but I'm taking Usyk to win that fight. I think he outpoints him.
I wish we would have talked about the Pacquiao and Ugas fight on Wednesday's show, because I picked Ugas to win. Mm-hmm. And nobody heard my prediction. But this time I don't see it, man. I think Joshua is going to put him away. I think he's going to knock him out.
I think he's too timid, and he won't go after him the way he should. He won't try to smother him. He won't just run up and try to get him out of there, because he's been hurt multiple times in his fight. So I think he'll try to and they'll try to outbox him, and I think Usyk wins that fight.
I hear you on the timid part, but the thing with Joshua is, if he feels confident he can put you away, he'll be aggressive. And Usyk he's not a true heavyweight. He's coming up from cruiserweight. He's a smaller boxer, and I don't think Joshua or his camp believes that he has the type of power to really hurt Joshua. I think that's why the fight happened so quickly. I think that's why he put it on so quickly. They think they looked at the tape and they said, yeah, this guy's a good matchup for us. We can go out there, put on a show against a guy that's highly regarded. Joshua doesn't respond well to getting hit. Joshua it's so weird, man, because he's taken some hard hits and gotten up, right? But he's also folded a couple of times. But in terms of skill, him and Usyk are probably the most skilled heavyweights, right? But Usyk doesn't have that kind of power, though. He doesn't have that kind of power at heavyweight. Very skilled fighter, good defense, but he's not like a knockout artist. Not a heavyweight, at least.
No.
But he's a good name to have on your resume to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sticking with Usyk, man. It's gonna happen. He's gonna shock the world, and nobody will care. So
if he beats Usyk, or if Usyk beats Joshua, is it going to be Usyk and Fury, or the winner Wilder, or Fury and Wilder?
I like how you just went straight to Fury instead of saying the winner of. I think so. I mean, honestly, I think they'll give, if Usyk wins, I think they give him the rematch immediately, and then after that, it's Fury or Wilder. Deontay Wilder, he's another one who's out there, talking all that good stuff. They were doing an interview, and once the official cameras went off, he was trying to talk a lot of trash. And I'm just like, man, not after the way you showed up in the last fight.
Listen. Sterling said this earlier. He was talking about me fighting one of the Paul brothers. He said it all takes is one punch. That's the case with Deontay Wilder. It only takes one. Okay. Now, officially, Wilder hasn't beaten Fury, but we all know it's 1-1 because he killed Fury. Tyson Fury had to be waking up by the ref in order for him to beat that count. He was out cold. He admitted, hey, I was out. I just heard somebody standing over me, like he was in my face counting, and I was like, oh, he's still counting, I can get up. Right? Like had that ref just stood up and counted like a normal person instead of getting his face like that. Those eyes will wake you up too, okay? DeAndre says Wilder's going to cook Fury. Fury's a better boxer. There's no question about that. But Wilder has that power, man. And I think Wilder believes, man, like whatever it was, he wasn't in the best of shape, or he was kind of worn down, or whatever. He believes
Fury poisoned him.
Yeah, Fury poisoned him, but whatever it is. But he's absolutely right, man. One punch can change the whole fight. But I don't know. Fury, he's just a better boxer, and Wilder refuses to learn how to throw a jab.
Okay, a couple things here, Paris. One, no, it was not one fight. He's been hurt in multiple fights. And yes, he always gets up except for against Ruiz. And y'all act Ruiz was a bum. Ruiz is a bum.
He did get up against Ruiz.
Yeah, Ruiz is a bum. We're not acting like it. He is a bum.
He's not a bum.
He is absolutely a bum. He is, he's a champion relative to the current crop of heavyweights. He is a bum.
Well, I mean, that's all we have to gauge off of.
That is not all we have to gauge off. I've seen other heavyweights. I know what good heavyweights look like. They don't look like Andy Ruiz. He's a bum.
I'm not gonna fight you on that. I'm not gonna get into an argument over Ruiz because I don't think he's anything special at all. Look, the man just refused to get in shape. He got into a little bit better shape for his last fight, but I'm just like, you could have been doing this the whole time. All right. Like,
yeah, he lost that fight though.
Yeah, he did.
So
he did. You know why?
Maybe
because
he should have kept eating that pizza and beer.
You know why? He shouldn't be a heavyweight. He's just fat. He shouldn't be. He should probably be a cruiserweight or a light heavyweight if he was in shape.
That's right, Deshaun.
Yeah, he isn't wrong. Yeah, he isn't wrong by Ruiz. Look, guys, what have I been saying the last couple of weeks? Pick your battles, right? Yeah. I wouldn't call Ruiz a bum, but if he calls him a bum, I don't want to do that fight.
Oh right. No, Raven Run. Oh no. That Steeler fan putting down that couple is the all-time champ.
Sheesh. He hit that guy with that. It was like a right hook or something like that. That dude fell back in his seat.
I woke up like 10 seconds later. What's going on?
I think the screaming woke him up because he was definitely out, man. He was slumped over and
back
everything.
in there like he didn't just get put to sleep.
Guys, listen, keep your hands to yourself. That's all I can say. Keep your hands to yourself. Whether it's if you're with your significant other and they're getting out of control, man, reel them back in. Reel them back in.
I mean, listen, you should have just told her you wanted that fight, you take it.
No, man. Look, I'm an old head. I'm a little bit more old school. My woman isn't going to get in any guy's face like that when I'm around, right? Like if he disrespected her, I'll take care of that. But they just going back and forth, and from what I heard, she just had too much to drink, and she was going off, and clearly that's what it was, right? Because the guy, he tried to restrain himself, because even when she slapped him initially, he didn't hit her, right? Yeah. He kind of caught back his hand a little bit, like, you better move, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then that's when the guy decided to get up. He was like, oh, I guess I should do something now. You should have done something when she told you to shut up. Did you see that part of it? He was trying to tell her to calm down. She's like, shut up. No, that's when you should have pulled her down, like, sit down. don't say anything, because what that guy was waiting for, he was waiting for her man to get up. So he said, oh yeah, I can hit you.
Yeah.
I can hit you. And
that's exactly how it went down.
Oh my God.
If it's the game, just leave if it's that serious. Absolutely, man.
Listen,
like I said, keep your hands to yourself.
It's a preseason game. It's a preseason game.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
And it's a Steelers preseason game. Like, y'all trash anyway.
Oh, where's Suge at? Where's Suge? Yeah, but look, RIP to that guy, and probably their marriage. Yeah, as soon as he got home, he probably on the phone with his lawyer. He's like, "Oh, babe, we gotta talk."
Husband is dead. Long live her husband. He popped right back up.
All right, a couple more comments, and we are out of here. Yeah, let's see. Connor says her husband caught that mink. Yeah, he caught a few of them. Fair says, y'all see the dude who yelled at his girl who thought a couple were drug dealers, and he told her to shut up and get in the car. I didn't see that. See that.
A black couple, I believe they were at a gas station, and the woman was, screaming at him, and her boyfriend or husband or whoever came over and was like telling her to shut up and get in the car. And she's like, he's a drug dealer. He's like, why? Because he's driving a Buick? Get in the car.
Yeah, because what if they were?
Yeah. That would have ended really badly for you.
I got stuff on me, right? You trying to get my face on camera. Okay, well now I gotta pull out my piece and take care of it, right? Like, no, man, just mind your business. How much longer before EDC wants to choose his first head coach?
3 years ago, I think. Now, how much longer before he gets to? I think it kind of depends on what kind of playoff run they make this year, or if they make the playoffs, right? Like I said, it's gonna be tough in the AFC, and if they start out slow, the Raiders are a team that can beat you. If you're not careful, you can lose that game. If you come in rusty or starting slow or whatever, and then you got the Chiefs week 2. That's obviously you can lose that one, and then you're 0-2 playing catch up in a really deep conference. So if they miss the playoffs, I think he's gone.
Yeah, and there have been rumors that EDC and Harbaugh weren't always on the same page, and EDC wanted to get rid of Harbaugh when he took over. Like that has been a rumor for a while, that when he got to take over, he was going to get rid of Harbaugh. Sterling says his mom drives a beauty. Is your mom a drug dealer, Sterling?
Oh, man.
All right. Ready to get out of here?
And Derek, this is not the kind of comment that we need when we're trying to bring peace between the Panthers and Ravens fans.
Ravens to miss the playoffs could be a nice bet if you feel strong on it. Okay. All right, man. So we should tease it. Derek's going to be, once we start the season, he's going to be on a short segment. He'll be giving you some betting odds on some of these games for some of you gambling degenerates out there. Okay.
Yeah, we're shooting for the 8th, the night before the season starts, for Derek to make his first appearance.
Yeah, yeah.
So
All
be
right,
on the
guys.
lookout for that.
Yes, yes. So with that, let's get to the overtime show. Guys, if you want to be a part of the overtime show, right above me, patreon.com/LBHT show. All right, we'll be hanging out there for our patrons. Give us a couple minutes, let us set up, and we will see you shortly. Everybody else, y'all have a good night, and we will see you next time. Peace out.